The team hobbled through the first half. I don't even want to discuss that, but then exploded in the second, soundly defeating the Indianapolis Colts 46-18. But the Hawks also lost a key player to injury, the impressive young running back Chris Carson. So here to help us break down the game, welcome my Hawks own buddy, former Husky running back Terry Hollimon from the Barbershop Show, and from Root Sports Northwest, Seahawks sideline reporter Jen Mueller. It's good to see you both.
Nice to be here.
Now, last time we were here, we said if the Hawks won, we were going to have a
shot. We're going to have shot. Oh, no. If they won, oh, yes. You came correct.
Yes. How did I look into being here today?
Oh, it was your lucky day.
The very last of the Scottish whiskey I brought back from Scotland.
Ooh.
This is like precious stuff. So you want to do the pour?
Oh, I'll be the pourer.
You guys,
okay.
Go ahead without me.
All right, Jen.
Yes.
So what the heck happened? What was different between the first half and the second half? What were they doing differently?
You know, the guys claim, well, they were executing differently. That was the big difference. But when you talk to them after the game, they just said that they had made the decision that the first half wasn't their type of football. You know, they said that they made on defense maybe one adjustment with some of those run fits. On offense, it was just communicating a little bit better. And I hope that there wasn't a whole lot of changes and that we can find that mojo just a little bit earlier in the game, if only for the sake of those of us who are standing on the sidelines who start getting a little anxious when the score isn't what we expect.
No, and when yeah.
I could have used some of this in the first half. Absolutely, yeah.
What is it? Slangeva, they say in Scotland. Slangeva.
Drink up, they say in the south end of Seattle.
That'll put hair on your chest. Okay, that's kind of yummy though, isn't it?
It is.
Should I like that feeling this early in the morning?
You should love it.
Just every now and then, and on New Day Northwest, we just sort of keep it right here. So what did you see in the second half? Did we change plays we were calling, or did the guys just play differently?
I don't know. I think they just executed a little better. I think, we talked about just a second ago, the Seahawks have trouble starting games. It's been notorious. It's been their MO for the last couple of years. I don't know. If I knew, I might have a job coaching. But it's just, I think they just really started executing. In the first half, you saw that, they were just a couple inches away from making some great plays, like the play that Russell Wilson made when his knee was down on the ground, just a couple inches away. And in the second half, I think maybe they just went in the locker room and said, look, guys, we just got to buckle down and do our thing. We know how to play football. We've been doing this for our entire lives. Let's do what we do. And they just did that. They executed. Yeah.
Well, Russell made that run, really hammered himself in there, and then was just all emotional in a way that we're not used to seeing him. How does that affect the other players?
Oh, it fired him up. In fact, every single one of them in the locker room afterwards said, we don't get to see that emotion from Russell very often, but when we do, it's a really good thing. And I think that's part of being just a dude in the locker room, right? We need to be able to relate to you and know that you're feeling the same thing that we're feeling. And in that moment, boy, he didn't have to take the hit. He could have given himself up. He could have just let the offense take it there at the 5-yard line or so. But that extra effort and that emotion, that got them fired up for the second half.
I know sometimes we've talked about Marshawn Lynch here in the past. We know he's on a different team, but he's notorious for saying all about that action, boss, right? There's something about a leader in the locker room. There's the guys that talk about it and are very good at giving speeches, but then when you come out with that action and you put yourself on the line like the way Russell did on that play, I think that, like she said, inspires a lot of guys.
Well, and that drive was not perfectly executed. He had to put a lot of that drive on himself and on his legs, and the way that the first half ended and getting the ball to start the third quarter, you had to have points there. You had to get momentum coming in your direction just because of how herky-jerky the first half was. So I think all of those factors combined, and having him finish what basically he had to start and carry at different points during that drive was huge.
I don't want to see him do that all the time because I don't want to see him get hurt.
And he is very smart, and he will not do that unless you have a situation like that.
Well, that was pretty wonderful. Let's talk about the injuries. Chris Carson, Cliff Averill, Jeremy Lane.
We got word this morning that Chris Carson has an actual fracture in his leg, which is unfortunate. He was one of the bright spots that I was looking forward to seeing him progress through the season. We got a guy that McKissick that showed up yesterday, and
we had a couple guys come out of nowhere.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll talk about that. But that was just one of the things that I was just very disheartened by. And Cliff Averill, I'm not sure, you would probably know better than I would what was going on with Cliff.
Well, he had a neck stinger, and so they took him in for precautionary reasons. He left the game in the first quarter, didn't come back. He has tweeted out that he's okay. Pete Carroll seems to think that he's okay. We'll see how that goes. He had full mobility and full movement, which is always a good thing, right? And so that's usually an indication of a stinger, right? Something gets pinched there in your neck. You kind of have the tingling in your hands. So
And I'm actually glad with Chris that it's bone and not something else, because bone will completely heal other stuff we're not always so sure about. And Jeremy Lane?
It looks to be a groin injury. He left the game very early on in the first series, so we saw a lot more of Shaquille Griffin, which is good because he plays with a lot of swagger and he does need to get some of those reps and that experience. But what you worry about again with a groin or a soft tissue injury is they can be lingering, and when you play that position like Jay Lane does, it could impact his quickness in getting to the ball. So we'll have a degree of severity on Wednesday.
I had a severe groin injury a few weeks ago playing flag football.
I
haven't been able to bounce back yet. So I know. I can only imagine trying to play in the National Football League with a reoccurring groin injury.
Your complaints on Facebook were hilarious.
It's serious, man. It's tough being old and trying to be athletic still.
You're telling me. Oh, well, I'm not trying to be athletic, though. I hurt myself just doing normal things, not even athletic things. So the unsung guys that we saw last night.
J.D. McKissick. He's a guy that just actually got signed off the practice squad just a few days before the game. I was just so excited to see him in the absence of Chris Carson and a Thomas Rawls and a C.J. Prosise. Can he be an every down back? I'm not sure at this point, but to see catches like that he made for the Seattle Seahawks and to get their momentum going, I'm just so excited about this guy's upside.
Well, his versatility is amazing, right? The catch that he made on that touchdown, you know, it looks unusual if you see him just listed as a running back, but he was a wide receiver before he was ever listed as a running back. And so that's kind of second nature to him to do what he did. But that took a lot of concentration and really good hands to make that catch there.
That's awesome. Jen, tell us a bit about your new book.
So the new book is called The Influential Conversationalist. It is the third book that I have published. I am very pleased with this one. Doug Baldwin wrote the foreword. KJ, Cam, Sherm, and Doug and Bobby Wagner are all in the book. And it's conversation skills that build leadership potential. And we've been talking about needing to have a dialogue about different things, right? Over the last couple of weeks, that word has come up. Here's the challenge with that. We're not practiced at it anymore. You know, we look for ways to avoid having face-to-face conversations, even when you're ordering your coffee, right? We pre-order so that it's just sitting right there when we walk in. And this book breaks down conversation strategies that I use with professional athletes and coaches, applies them to a business setting, but then also shows how if you're already going to watch and talk sports, that we can reinforce those communication skills.
And it's timely, very timely. Thank you. And you are bowling with Marcus Trufant for the Trufant Foundation on Wednesday.
No, it's tonight.
It's tonight.
Sorry, check your calendar.
I don't know what's wrong with me. Let me have another set.
That's what you need. That's your memory juice right there.
All right, tell us all about it.
Tonight, I will be with Marcus Trufant at the Trufant Family Foundation 13th Annual Bowling and Billiards Classic. It's a great event. They raise money for a lot of disadvantaged children in the area. A lot of your favorite Seahawks will be out there. In the past, we've had Doug Baldwin, Bobby Wagner, Richard Sherman is always there. It's going to be a fun event. T. Holla will be there.
T. Holla.
Come out.
Are you a good bowler?
No, I'm not a bowler at all. I'll be talking. I'm a really good talker.
You don't even try to like push it down the lane, you know, like the 6-year-old. No,
I will embarrass myself doing that. I will probably fall down.
It's the groin injury. You just blame it on the groin injury.
That's right. Just say that.
It just doesn't.
And just quickly, we need to say Huskies undefeated.
That's right.
Cougs beat USC. It was a good football weekend for Washington State.
It's a great place to be right now in Washington for your football.
It's always a great place to be. The Seahawks travel to LA next Sunday to take on the Rams. The Rams are always tough for us.
Oh, they're playing
They were really good yesterday. Kickoff is set for 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And check out the 13th Annual Marcus Trufant Celebrity Bowling and Billiard Tournament, which is tonight, not Wednesday, tonight at Acme Bowl in Tukwila. Doors open at 8. We've added more information to our website, including how to keep up with Jen and Terry, as well as where to get Jen's book. Jen brought copies for everybody in the audience, by the way. And a bonus to help you show off your Seahawks pride. Check out, where is it? This fun magnet, made right here in the USA by Stockdale. You can put it on your car, your fridge, whatever you want. Everybody's getting one of these. Okay?
Yeah.
And you can buy this, by the way, at fanatics.com and NFL.com shops if you want one at home. But the 12s in our audience, they get one for free here. We'll be right back.